Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you this evening. We are working on this Data East, the Simpsons pinball machine that we got off of a guy. And we are just kind of going through it. Somebody has worked through it a couple years ago, but we're kind of, everything's working it seems like, or most of the things are working. But we're kind of trying to service it and get it cleaned up and ready to go so we can sell it to someone for their home game room. So on a previous video, we worked in the back box on the power supply, which just had a burnt up connector. It was still working, but the connector was ugly and it was soldered to the board where you couldn't remove it. So we have replaced that. But we've got the usual thing where we've got lamps out, we've got some switches that may or may not be working. The flipper was sticking, but now it's not, so we'll look at that. The what do they call this? The kickback over here. The kickback save coil or whatever isn't working, so we need to look at that. And I'm thinking there may be something going on with the audio too. It sounds kind of tinny, which I don't know if all the Data East just sound like that. It almost sounds like the speaker in the bottom isn't working, and that we're just hearing the two speakers up here. So we'll test that. But I'm basically going to make a list of parts that we need to order to get the thing in tip-top shape, or at least better shape than it is now. But we'll figure that out on this video. So I think we'll start with some of the light bulbs in the back box. I think some of these are messed up. Some of those aren't working. So I'm going to take that glass back off, and we'll see what they look like, and see if I can find some LEDs around here somewhere to replace the ones.
Cowabunga, man!
It's working. All right. Well, that theory didn't work. Sounds kind of tinny, though. Maybe they just sound like that. I'll have to watch some YouTube videos of other people playing it and see if they all sound like that. But yeah, that speaker down there did have Bart coming through it loud and clear. Or loud and tinny. Okay, so let me take the back glass off and we'll look at the light bulbs in the back glass. Okay, folks, so here's what we've got with the glass out. I haven't seen any of the flashers work yet. We'll have to go in and test that. But all of the bulbs are actually working. They put a couple green ones in just for effect, you know. I did not put these LEDs in. And I have often said that I'm not a big fan of LEDs, but I'm talking about on the old games, the older ones. Like this one's from 1990. I mean, I think it looks pretty good with LEDs in it. So it just depends on the game, in my opinion. I'm talking about people putting them in electromechanical machines or putting them in, you know, a 1978 Bally Lost World. I like them better with the original bulbs. So somewhere along the line, I kind of, whenever I see a game with LEDs in it, it doesn't bother me as much if it's a little bit newer. And this one's from 90, I guess. Okay, so all of these are working. I'm going to go into the test and figure out the, I guess that one's not quite right. This one is problematic. Might have to replace this one. It's lighting, but it's not as bright as the other ones. Okay, so let me go into the test and figure out how to turn on the flashers, and we'll see what's going on with those. Alright, here's the flashers. So we get to play this game called Which One Never Lights Up? I see a couple that are never lighting up. We have a band outside playing, so that's why you're hearing something in the background going, ooh, 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 ooh. It's a band. Okay. These are never lighting up. If I can get them out, that would be good. Well, a lot of times when people do LEDs, they actually won't replace the flashers with LEDs because it's pretty expensive. This one is never lighting up. 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 Okay, Let me go grab some more. These say they are 89s. I'm going to look in the manual to make sure you're supposed to put 89s in. It's pretty common for people to put the wrong ones in, right? You could replace all of them, of course. Okay, so you can look in the manual and it will tell you. So like it's telling us that they're all 89s and some of them are 906s. So you kind of have to look that up because sometimes people will put if you put the wrong bulb in, they'll burn too hot and it'll melt plastics and stuff like that. We've ran into problems before. So we always check them just to make sure. You can kind of tell when they're in there too because they'll look way too bright whenever they flash, but people like bright flashers, so sometimes it's not as obvious. Okay, so number 89s it is. Let me go grab some. Okay, folks. Got them all going. That looks a heck of a lot better. There was the 5 times multiplier light too. I looked at that while I was in there and it had popped out. And also the LEDs that they are using are all the same. So the ones in the inserts and the ones in the back box are the same LEDs. So we'll try to figure out where those came from and order some spares because I think we're going to need a bunch here on the playfield, but we're about to figure that out. So I'm going to pop up, I'm going to take the glass off here, and while we're doing flashers, look through and see if I can see what all flashers are burnt out in the bottom, and we'll get to replacing those too. Okay, folks, so we were able to pop it up. Found a little bit of stuff in the bottom of it. I'll show you a closer look at the LEDs that they're putting in everything. So they are surface mount 4 LED bulbs, but they don't have, says it right on it. It's a Comet. That's cool. So Comet 6.3 volt, which is the normal ones. So they are using Comet bulbs in it. So we'll order some more. They look like they're cool white too. They're not warm white because they're cooler looking than the flashers, which are warm white because they're incandescent. Okay, so we'll be able to order some of these. Let me see if I can figure out how many of our flashers are burnt out. Okay, so I ran into something interesting with the flashers. Again, somebody reworked this a few years ago and put LEDs in it. But LED flashers are kind of a weird thing, right? Because they're really freaking bright if they're LED. So the ones in the back box, you noticed, they hadn't changed. They were still the incandescents. So on the under the playfield, about half of them were still incandescents, and then they had replaced a lot of the other ones with LED ones. Look at the ones that they used. I have never seen these. They're just a flat little board with, Matt is telling me these are called cob LEDs. Something on board.
Chip on board.
Chip on board LEDs. But the thing is, almost all of them had failed. More of these had failed than the incandescents. Now, I am not calling anybody out. It's a kind of little bit there. Basically, there's about 30 different types of flashers, LED flashers that you can get, and they're trying to figure out the best way to do it, blah, 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 right? But a lot of these had burned out. I don't know who made them. I couldn't find anybody that still sells them. I suspect, again, I'm not calling anybody out, but I suspect maybe they ordered these from Comet as well. So these may have been an old design from Comet. Maybe, they may not be. And Comet is well known for doing great stuff. So I'm not saying they make bad stuff, they don't. Right? But a lot of these failed. So this entire stack of them was bad. And I think the place we got it from, they got a brand new pinball 2 years ago, so we think this one was probably reworked maybe 2 years ago. But who knows how long it was on and all that, right? So what I did was I went through and I replaced all of those LED ones with incandescent ones. A lot of people do that anyway on their machine, even if they put LEDs in it. They won't put LEDs in the flasher for a couple reasons. They're expensive, and they're really freaking bright a lot of the time. Now, you can get ones that are less bright, so it's just, again, personal preference. So one of the issues, though, whenever you do that is the incandescents are a warm white, and the LEDs that are in this machine, at least, are a cool white. So you end up with a little bit of that of that issue. So let me show you something. There's a big thing going on outside down the street. Oh, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing good.
Oh, the Simpsons pinball?
What do you think?
Oh my god.
I was just working on it.
I love the Simpsons and I love pinball.
Uh-huh. You can go in there and look at it if you want. Check it out. So, if you see across the street, there's a warm white bulb and there's a cool white bulb on the side of the building. Warm white. Down there's some warm and cool ones. It's all mixed up, right? That's a warm white one. It's just a thing, you know, like some of the bulbs end up both ways. So you don't really want to do that if you can help it, and you kind of end up with that problem on the machines where if you've got cool white for all the GI but all the flashers are warm white, it looks a little weird, right? So we'll go back in and I'm gonna go back in. Okay, so if you look on the back glass, that's what's going on. So you've got white here, but you've got warm white as the flashers. But it looks kind of cool. Like, it doesn't look that bad. Doesn't look as bad as whenever they're just right next to each other and they're the wrong color. So on the playfield, all the flashers are incandescents except one. One is the original LED that they had in there that's a cool white. Can you tell which one it is? Here, Matt's here. We'll see if Matt can figure it out. He'll give us feedback. Did you see which one I left in?
Maggie's face.
You just ruined my whole game, Matt. What are you doing here? Yes, Maggie's face is still the LED one. So you can kind of see that it's a little bit different, you know, so maybe you don't want to mix and match, but all in all, I don't think that it matters enough that they're warm white and the other ones are cool white. I'm going to replace that one too. I left one in so I could show the difference.
They're yellow, so I mean the Simpsons are yellow.
Yeah, the Simpsons are yellow, so it wouldn't really be that big of an issue anyway. And those are incandescents there. So, all right, so that's what we're going to do. But yeah, we got all the flashers working. What do you think, Matt? Does it look better?
It looks a whole lot better already.
So Matt knows this jerk that sold me this pinball machine.
He's my boss, yeah.
I never met your boss. I don't know anything about your boss. I had one contact that I was dealing with whenever I purchased this machine.
Yeah. His
guy's a jerk.
Yeah. That was other Matt.
Huh?
He just looks like me and sounds like me.
So Matt works at a place, and we got this game from Matt. He traded it in on a different one. So he said he didn't really like it that much.
No? I don't know.
He said it wasn't his thing. I was trying to explain to him that I think the game had a bunch of little minor issues that were making it where it wasn't as fun to play. He's not sold on that yet.
I mean, that kicker was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. You think that really messed it up?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna fix that though. All right. So we got all of the flashers doing their thing. I'll swap the one cool white one that still works out of all of these with an incandescent, and then I need to check all of the the insert LEDs, and I gotta check the GI. There's going to be a bunch of stuff I think that's burned out whenever I get down underneath this stuff. So let me go into lamp check and we'll see how many of those are out. Okay, so next up is the light bulbs. Looks like that one might be out or messed up. Chocolate's out. Just a few, not many. I think what I might do, since we have to order some, for now I'll steal some out of the back glass, get them in the right spot in the playfield, and then we're down to where we can check switches and stuff, and see if there's any kind of electronic stuff that needs to be repaired. I'm trying to make a list of stuff I have to order, so... yeah, let me look from the bottom and make sure they're all working. Okay, so I could only find about 4 of them that weren't working, but if I took them out, turned them around, and put them back in, they started working. So some of these old ones were DC, well, not DC, There was something with the old ones where they would only work one way because of the way the diode was built in it. So I think these are from a few years ago, but I might have it wrong. Again, I'm not trying to criticize any of the companies making this. So I swapped them around and they're working. So I think that they may have literally just been in the holder backwards. Even the little directional one. Check that out. So they made it with little wires where you can bend it because the light is supposed to come out of the side of the bulb on the original bulb. But pretty much just on that, only on that one. On the other ones, it's directly under the socket. So when the light comes out of the top, but on this one, the light comes out of the side, so you need a slightly different bulb just to make it look right. I think that's the only one like that. But yeah, I think all of them are working. So, oh yeah, there's another one down there that's like that too. Everything looks pretty good. They color match some of them. These red inserts, and over here red and yellow even. But most of them are white. So I think that's about it. Okay, folks, we got all the lights doing their thing. Got it right in the window, so it's hard to see. All the lights work, so that's good. So we're to the point now where we're ready to start tearing it down. There's a little bit of wear that we're going to probably have to work on. That. And that. And that. And that. And that. There's 5 of them, Joe. We thought there was just 4. Oh, and that. There's 6 of them, Joe. So we got to do that. But the first, we'll do that in a separate video. But we need to work on the speaker, and we need to work on the kickback over here that kicks the ball back out. So I think we'll see about the speaker. It's got the wrong one in it. Somebody replaced it and put one that's too small, and I think that's why it sounds so weird. We're going to swap that out, and then we'll take the apron off and see what the little kickback thing looks like. Okay, folks, so here's the kickback. The reason it's not working is because the wire is broke, but and it was up in there, but the bracket is also broke off. So we need to remove this bracket, find or order another bracket that holds the coil in place, and that should fix that. It's probably, you know, the same exact bracket setup as this, or close to it. But each company's they're slightly different. So this is the Data East version. So I don't know if a Williams one will fit on there, but you know I'm going to try. If it doesn't, we'll just order the correct part, and that should fix that up. So here is the bracket, and down inside I found the mount. It's snapped into. This is pretty common. Stuff like that happens all the time. So I looked through my part stash and I found this bracket, which appears to be the exact same size except it's thicker. So I don't know. Maybe this is from a different company and they just made it better, or maybe this is an upgraded part or something. And I don't know why I had it. Where'd we get this, Joey? You don't know. So I'm going to see if I can mount it on there, and hopefully that will repair our plunger after we put the wire back on. Okay, folks, so we got the new bracket in, and I'm in the test. We're going to try the laser kick, they call it. Boy, it doesn't like that. It doesn't like if I hold it on. It's getting stuck, Joe. Why is it getting stuck?
I don't know. It is brand new. I think it's got to work its way in.
You think that's it?
Maybe.
Alright, so we'll keep watching that, but the first couple flips it got stuck, but now it seems better. Maybe it's worked its way in, Joe. You think so?
Yep.
Alright, so we're going to call the laser kick fixed. Okay, folks, so we have replaced the speaker. We put a 6.5 inch in it. We had to mess with the holes a little bit on the speaker, so it's... I think it did use a 6.5 inch, but the mounting pattern was a little bit different than the one we have. The speaker that was in it before down on the bottom works fine, but it was just too small. It was only like a 4 inch or something. Okay, left, center, right. So all three are working fine. The center really does all three at the same time. Okay, voice ROM. Voice ROM 2.
Hey man, we're both underachievers.
All right, here comes the music. Are you ready? Turn it up a little bit for us, Joe. Sounds great. Hurry up mode.
underachievers.
All right, folks, so there you go. So we got the sound fixed, got the kicker kick fixed. I think that's all of the electronics. So we'll stop it there. If it cut out any of those sounds playing, it's because those songs are so famous, or at least the first one, the main theme, that they may have actually gave us a copyright strike for it. So if there was a big piece missing, no, it was kicking ass playing the Simpsons theme song. So leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think so far. We'll do another one where we start working on the playfield. and then we'll have to do one where we actually play the thing. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed it so far. Leave your comments below. Make sure to check out my brother Donnie. That's our brother. If you like watching us work on these old pinball machines, you might like watching us work on old buildings. We've bought a couple old buildings in a small town near here, and we are fixing them up. So go check that out. I'm over there on his channel most of the time. And then also, thank you to everybody who has been buying, using our links to Amazon and buying their Amazon stuff through our links. If you click our link to go to Amazon, if you have a hankering to buy anything from Amazon, like maybe you know, the Simpsons DVD set or something, if you click our link down below to go to Amazon, it gives us a piece of the profits. We appreciate that. And if you go to our website, lionsarcade.com, you can see all of our games for sale. You can also see we have a parts page where we link some of the stuff that we use in our repairs. So I hope you enjoyed it so far. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for filming it, and we'll see you on the next video.